Oh, right. Welcome to recording. All right, here we go. Internships. So the types of internships we're going to discuss, we have two types of internships at Mercy College. We have internship for credit and not for credit. So as you can imagine, the internship for credit has an academic component. You're going to be receiving 3 college credits for completing this internship. It's an elective course. It's a 380 or 381 class. And you register for this class before the drop deadline, of course. But the caveat is that you have to have landed an internship before you register for the class. So you have to kind of have a plan before you think about doing a 4-credit internship. The not-for-credit internship, you can do at any time. It doesn't have this rigor, and you can just apply and arrange it directly with the employer. Now, we don't advocate for one over the other necessarily. It depends on the type of experience you're looking for, the time constraints you have, if you have room in your schedule, you're a major, there's a ton of different things to take into consideration. But we recommend you take an internship or get some work experience or relevant work experience, however you can. This is just some of the options we're talking about. Then when to actually look for one. If you're doing a 4-credit internship, you must have completed 30 credits. And if you're doing it not for credit, you can do it anytime. Usually it takes a few weeks or months to land an internship, so we recommend you start a little bit ahead of time. You don't think of doing an internship for next week, that's going to be tough. So we recommend you plan ahead a few months in advance. Then where to actually look for one. There are many job and internship search databases out there. We're going to talk about some of them. But before we discuss those, we want to point you to Handshake, which hopefully you've all have heard of. It's our Mercy College's job and internship database. We want you to start there because we've already vetted the employers who post jobs for Mercy there. We have a connection with most of the employers. They've hired our interns before, or they've worked here before, or they've graduated from here. We have a connection with them. So we want you to take advantage of that. And then some recommendations when you're actually applying on Handshake. Your resume has to be updated and approved before you can submit your application. And your resume should be marked visible to employers so they can actually see you as well. I'm going to take a quick demo of Handshake as a student, and then you hopefully are familiar with most of these things that I'm going to be doing. But when you land into Handshake, this is your main page. We're going to go to jobs. Jobs is just jobs and internships and everything included. Click on jobs. And then you're just going to filter. So we're going to filter by internship. And then of course you can add more to that. You can say, I would say by major is usually a good idea. So you can do psychology or whatever major course you are. There you go. And then that's kind of all I'm going to do for now. You can do location, of course. And then you can add keywords if you have a specific thing in mind that you want to develop a skill, or you want to work with children or seniors, whatever it is, you go ahead and you add it there. If you don't have anything, you just leave it blank. And then you start getting the listing of the internships that we have listed. So you go through it, you look at the internship, the description, how to apply. It's pretty straightforward. If you're just browsing through and then you want to come back later and apply, just mark them as a favorite. Like if they sound interesting, but you don't have the time right now to read through, just bookmark them, and then they'll be under your saved option. So then you have your saved ones and you can look at them at a later time. One thing is make sure you look at the application deadlines. It will be very clear, but you don't want to miss out on things that you're looking for, that you find interesting and you're looking forward to applying. Just make sure you always take a look at the application deadline. All right, that's Handshake. We're going to continue on our deck.
Awesome. So micro-internships. I know a lot of you are probably wondering, what is a micro-internship? So basically, a micro-internship is a short-term paid professional assignment that basically is given to new hires and interns. So micro-internships are more for anybody, but for students who have like a lot of outside of school issues going on, whether it's work or transportation issues, micro internships are more flexible that fit your schedule. So that way you're able to be successful and stay on track with your courses and things that you need to get done school-wise. Also, micro internships provide meaningful projects that you have to complete. And these projects also contribute towards society and positively impact multiple communities around as well. So it's a lot of meaningful work behind all the projects that you will be completing throughout your micro internships. So other benefits that come along with micro internships include fits the schedule, as I mentioned before. You can take on multiple projects at a time. The majority of the projects are remote. You gain relevant experience, and also you get paid. Who don't want to get paid? And I also have a demo for Parker Dewey. So regarding micro internships, you want to make sure that you go to the Mercy College career page under next steps. You want to go to apply for internships and jobs. As you scroll down the screen, right in the middle, you want to see Parker Dewey, where you can click here to sign up. Thankfully, I already signed up. So this is what the screen looks like. As you scroll down, a bunch of micro internship opportunities will appear based on your interests and your availability. And if you see fit, you're also able to filter what you're looking for at the top of the screen as well.
All right, so micro internships. Then we're going to continue onto different types of work experience that you can gain. One of them is going to be volunteering and relevant part-time jobs. So hopefully that sounds pretty straightforward. If you volunteer, you can also gain different skills depending on your interest, again, your time availability, and so on. And you can find not just a way to help yourself, but also a way to give back and help your community if you're volunteering. You can look for these positions on Handshake, and we have some others that we recommend. Handshake, the same way you look for internships, you can also filter by volunteer positions and part-time jobs and get the same kind of listing. I am going to show you some of these links. I'm just going to show you one so you can get a sense of others and what they look like and what they offer. I'm going to choose volunteermatch.org just because they're all great, but I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to show you that one. So this is what it looks like, and this is only volunteer positions. That's the name applies. You go in and then you just click find opportunities. It's very, very easy. And then if you have a specific area that you want to work for, by all means, go ahead and do it. Or you can also filter by skills, which is great because if you have the skill or if you want to develop it or if it's a different field, go ahead and do that. If you have a language, anything, performing arts, I mean, there's everything here. So I'm just going to say children, just going to choose something. Let's say welfare, really anything. And then you go through, and then there's become a host family organization. Okay, so you get it. You get all kinds of positions. And then very straightforward. You go in, you look at the description, and you follow the instructions on how to apply. So again, great ways to gain experience, develop skills, and give back to your community.
There's a question in the chat that says, what about remote jobs? Can you use these same resources?
Exactly, yes. After the pandemic, of course, there's a wealth of options for remote only or hybrid, like remote and sometimes in person. So you can definitely filter by that as well.
Yeah, you'll see some search engines now, like Indeed or LinkedIn, actually have a filter that you can turn on that says remote, so that it automatically filters. And if you don't see a specific filter for that, using it as a keyword is pretty easy to do.
Yes, that's true, and that's a great idea as well. Okay, these are other job search engines, job internship and part-time and internship search engines that we recommend. You're probably familiar with some of these. Lynn just mentioned LinkedIn Jobs. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but LinkedIn Jobs is really wonderful. Indeed and Civic Recruiter. These are just some that we come across over and over. And then we're going to go on to research. Julia and Timmy.
Um,
First,
do you want- Julia, sorry, do you want to start or should I?
yeah, go ahead, and I'll go after you.
Okay, so I'm presenting remotely and Dr. Zavala is presenting from in person. So welcome everybody. I'm Dr. Renee Haskell-Layton. I'm the program director for biology at Mercy College. And I do some work on some various grants that we have. Most recently, Mercy College was awarded a STEM Ready grant from the Department of Education that has a really big focus on career readiness for students, particularly in the STEM fields. Dr. Zavalia?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Julie Wallace. I teach in the psychology department in the School of Social Behavioral Sciences. And like Dr. Haskell-Layton, I am working on the STEM Ready grant, particularly the Workplace Academy, which is going to be hosting a research program that we're going to talk about more in a little bit. But we first want to get to some of the benefits of research and why research is important for undergraduate students to experience, and some of the skills that you would gain by doing research. And research can really come in various forms. There's different, before we get into the skills, but psychology, you may conduct research on collecting data on human behaviors. Biology, they actually work with, like the picture shows here, with chicken embryos. So different majors have different types of research experiences, but overall, the essential skills that are gained through engaging in research experience as an undergraduate student is that you learn how to problem solve. You learn how to think critically about data. You learn how to think critically about articles that you might read, to understand the structure of articles, how the ins and outs of research, how it works, several components of data collection, data analysis, statistics, all these really important things that help build problem solving skills, that help build critical thinking skills. You engage in real world authentic research with a faculty research mentor and a small group of students. So that's essentially in the research experiences that we have at Mercy that we're going to get to in a bit. It usually is led by a faculty mentor and working with one or two or three, or depending on the format of the program, groups of students. So as I mentioned in psychology, the types of research could be, for example, I have recently looked at how social media use has differed between pre-pandemic versus during the pandemic. So it's kind of like real world authentic research that some people engage in, that I'm particularly engaging in with my students. It's also great preparation for graduate school and career paths. You need it for graduate school. You're going to be conducting research in graduate school if that's what you go into. Career paths, there may be, depending on what career you go into, they may require you to have some essential research skills. A great benefit is to present your findings at a conference. I just took a group of students that I worked with over the summer to present at the Eastern Psychological Association. They had all their expenses paid to go to the conference, to stay at the hotel. It was in Times Square. So it was a cool experience for them, although it was in New York City, but they, it was their first time attending a conference. They stayed overnight for 3 nights. They got to see other researchers speak about research being conducted in the field of psychology. I know Dr. Haskell-Layton has taken students to biology conferences, and I don't know if you want to speak to some of your experiences, Dr. Layton.
Sure. Actually, I was wondering, do the students want to put in the chat what their majors are? Because, we are speaking from the perspective of the biology and the psychology majors, but as Dr. Zavala mentioned, many different disciplines have different ways that they engage in research. So as you want to point out that the faculty at Mercy College are experts in their discipline. So I worked as a neuroscientist for many years before coming to Mercy College. So when students work in my lab, they're working on the research that I have been doing my whole scientific career. I'm not making a special
separate project that I think is easy for students. That's why I wanted to highlight some examples of what you can accomplish and what potential employers or graduate programs might look for, that they, were able to establish what we call a primary cell culture. And these are really great technical skills, and just that the work that they've done, they've been able to kind of troubleshoot different problems in the lab. We're actually doing some studies on what causes brain disease, what kind of therapeutics can work to protect the brain. And this is going on right at Mercy. Okay, so we have cybersecurity. Great. So this is going to be very relevant because we're going to talk a little bit about a summer research experience that is upcoming this summer. Cybersecurity is one of the disciplines that is covered. I also want to mention
computer science also came in.
Great. Perfect. And I want to say, if you're in a discipline or a major that you're like, I don't really know if the faculty are doing research or how I would get involved, you could ask your PAC mentor. If they're not sure, ask them who your program director is. Your program director for your major, you can contact them directly. They will have more information about ways of getting involved in research if you're not necessarily in one of the STEM disciplines. Okay, so how can you get involved with research at Mercy? So we just listed some examples in the disciplines of biology and psychology. But this, again, could apply to any discipline. So in biology, we have research courses where students get credit while working with a faculty mentor and a small group, maybe 6 students. Actually, this picture is from the Manhattan campus, if you can believe it. There was a lab before the renovations. So this is an example of a research group that was working one summer. So also a lot of fun. Other disciplines, if you could see the second bullet down, says special topics. You might have in even business, you might have a special topics course that is more research oriented or involved in real world problem solving. All the majors should have a form of independent study. That's another way you can get credit for research. So if you're in a course with a faculty, they're describing what they're doing within their discipline. And you might say, hey, wow, that sounds cool. I want to get involved with that. They may be able to offer you independent study credits. So you need to speak with the faculty directly about that. And then within biology, we've developed some more advanced research courses. And then in our biology majors, they actually end their undergraduate time, their last semester senior year, with a capstone project where they're working on an independent research project. Julia, did you want to talk a little bit about the courses in psychology?
Sure. So psychology, the 2 popular courses for research in psychology are directed research and independent study. As Dr. Haskellin was mentioning, every program has an independent study. Our directed research course usually focuses on what the faculty mentor is doing for the research, and then they invite students to register for the course who want to gain experience in gaining research skills. And I've taught this class in the past, and some of my students had presented their work at the Westchester Undergraduate Research Conference through the work that they did in my directed research course. Another great opportunity in psychology is the independent study. So this course is when the student typically designs their own research study, and the faculty mentor mentors them through the process. So rather than working on faculty research, they're really designing their own research project themselves as a student. So these are great opportunities in psychology. There's other opportunities across campus where you could gain some hands-on research experiences. Before we get into the summer research one, I'll just mention that we do have a NAIR program, which is a great research opportunity for students who are going into their junior and senior year. Dr. Kim Raposa is the director of that program, and you should be checking your emails because the application flyer has gone out to students who are interested in it. C-STEP is another great opportunity for freshmen through seniors to join and gain research experience. They work with mentors. Each of these programs have summer programs as well that run during the summer semester.
There's also external research internships that are on Handshake, and they'll be presented through the STEM Ready grant under Handshake in the various majors of STEM, so biology, cybersecurity, computer science, computer information systems, psychology, and mathematics. And now on to the Summer Research Institute. This is the program that the STEM Ready grant is going to be running this summer, the program that Dr. Haskell Layton and I are the activity directors for. And this is the slide, which you will all receive this slide in your emails as well as it gets circulated across campus. And the program is going to be running through July 11th through August 5th this summer. It's going to be Monday through Friday. It's going to run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And students will get a $1,200 stipend for participating in this opportunity. So it's a great way to really gain hands-on experience in your particular field. Because if you look to the right of this slide, you see the different STEM majors that are presented here. So biology is going to be working on research in the role of effector proteins from the plant pathogen. I cannot pronounce that word. But then you see you have biology, you have computer information systems, you have computer science, cybersecurity, math, psychology. I'll be running the program with Dr. Ramji for the psychology program. We have various other faculty mentors who are going to be running the other programs in the other majors. So this is a great way for you to gain this experience. I would say going into graduate school, it's a necessity to get hands-on research experiences. And as we presented, there's so many various ways that you could do this at Mercy. To apply for this particular Summer Research Institute, you have the QR code there, so you could just use your phone, and I think that should work for you, for those of you on Zoom. And then also there's the direct link to it as well. Dr. Haskell, and is there anything that we should add?
Nope, you're the first that we're advertising this to. So if you are in one of the majors that Dr. Zavala mentioned, you can get a head start in applying. The application deadline is we're trying to get all the applications in by April 15th. And so we've been running a similar type of program for years. We're with great success. This summer, students will be giving final presentations on the last day of the program, and we're going to invite potential employers who are also advising us in the skills that they want to see from our Mercy students. And so you'll have a chance to also network with potential employers as well.
There's a question in the chat about whether the program is open to international students.
So we don't have a restriction on whether international students can apply. It would really be a matter of whether you're eligible to receive the stipend. So I would still encourage you to apply. I think, we would, if there's the opportunity to leave a comment, maybe mention that so we could reach out to you and just double check that there aren't any roadblocks to receiving the stipend.
And our recommendation whenever you're applying to any kind of job or, related kind of experience is to check in with the International Student Office as well. Check in with Bogdana Vladescu or Valerie Monaco to make sure that, if it does impact, say, your CPT or your OPT, that you go in with that knowledge ahead of time.
Are we able to put the link in the chat? Okay.
I have to exit out. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions from our participants on Zoom? Feel free to chat to us. If you'd like to speak with us, we can unmute you. What kinds of career-related experiences are you thinking about, and did we cover them today? Do you have remaining questions about the value of getting some experience during college or how you go about doing it. Usually give them a moment in case they're typing. Sometimes it takes a little longer.
In the meantime, Julia or Renee, do you have a GPA requirement to apply for this grant for the summer, for the Summer Research Institute? Is there a GPA requirement?
There is not, nope. We have basically, you know, a short question about why you're interested in the program. And so we, you know, accept as many students as we can. You know, we're not always able to accept everybody, but a lot of it has to do with which research project that you've requested and whether we can accommodate a kind of an equal distribution of students. Are you committed to, you know, attendance every day is really important. Being able to attend for the final presentation and make a commitment to your research mentor is also very important. So we look for those factors more so than a specific GPA.
Thank you.
And I can mention that for students that typically rely on the shuttle from the Bronx campus, because some of these projects are in Dobbs Ferry, there will be a shuttle this summer from Bronx to Dobbs Ferry. This is a partnership with Westchester Community College, so a couple of the projects are actually housed on the Westchester Community College campus in Valhalla. So it's also a great opportunity to meet students from WCC. So usually it's each research group is a mix between students from both schools, and mostly once the summer academy ends or the Summer Research Institute ends, during the academic year, you'll regroup with your student research partners and your faculty mentor. Often you'll prepare for a conference. So we've been encouraging the faculty and students to present both at local and national conferences. And that's been a great opportunity. And that also shows, you know, graduate schools or a potential employer, where that is a great thing for a resume to show that you've participated in research, that you've presented. That's an authorship if you've presented a poster or given an oral presentation. That's a really great thing to highlight. That's a little bit extra than, you do presentations in class, but this is kind of to an outside audience. And so that is something that's really highly valued in the workforce.
Absolutely. In fact, the skills, we showed you a little bit of research about the value of internships in particular, but what we learned from our professional associations and our employer partners is there's a set of soft skills that they are always looking for, regardless of the industry. And top of those lists are things like critical thinking and problem solving and communication. And those can all mean lots of different things to different people and different employers, but you apply and develop all of those through these research opportunities. And communication can come down to things like writing, if you get an opportunity to write with your faculty mentor or to present and speak in public. So there's so much value to be in there. And I also appreciate from both of you the reminder that research extends through every field. I mean, I think a lot of people, myself included, I'm guilty of it, hear research and think science, right? But every industry needs it. We literally presented stats to you today because there are higher education researchers, right? So every field needs it, and it's an incredible opportunity. So I have no questions in the chat. I'm gonna assume that means that we got everything out of this that we were hoping to.
Well, if you don't mind sharing the last slide, Julia, it's a survey. And students want to please go in and complete this survey so we know how we did and we can improve on for the next ones.
In fact, we challenge you all to take a picture of the QR code, scan it, submit the survey, and the first 5 people to do so, they win bragging rights.
Oh, here's a good question. How can students be able to receive help when looking for an internship? Brian, that's the Career Center. Yep. That's
You
what
wanna-
we're here for. Yeah, up to
We
you.
can, I can start and please everyone help if you want. Brian, we will help you from the beginning. So we'll help you make sure your resume looks good. If you don't have one, we'll help you put it together. We are going to help you log into Handshake, show you how if you've never been on it yet, and then help you filter through positions and recommend some if we have any that are relevant for you, and just take you through the process. Then we start getting emails and calls for interviews. We can also help you prepare for these interviews. We have different tools, some are in person, some are online. And then walk you through the whole process. And then if you want to register for the class, to take a 4-credit internship, we'll help you with that as well. So basically from the beginning till the end, we're here for you. Having said that, if any of you are looking for an internship or part-time job or full-time job, please, I want to just pitch our job and internship career fair coming up on the 31st of March. It's a Thursday.
Yes.
It's a Thursday. I have it very present in my calendar, but I cannot tell you right now. What are the times again?
Yes, it's Thursday, March 31st from 1 to 4. It's a virtual career fair this year on Handshake. And what that means is, unlike an in-person fair where you can kind of just walk in and browse and stop by tables, there's no virtual browsing space. So employers have opened up group sessions or one-on-one sessions online. So in order to participate in this event, you do have to sign up for the event itself, and then you have to register for the one-on-one or group sessions that you would like in advance with those employers. But that is a wonderful opportunity to explore what's out there, meet with people, and get your face out there with some employers. Whether or not it yields an internship or you're interested this time around, it's a really good opportunity to start exploring. And that is coming up on the 31st, but you do have to register in advance. It's also on Handshake where you found this event.
We highly recommend everyone register and attend. It'll be a great experience for you all, just to experience, to network, to get a feel for what it's going to be like to interview for a job and for an internship. And there's also other resources available as well. So please take advantage of this opportunity and register as soon as possible, and also commit by showing up and exploring what resources are available.
100%. I also left a link in the chat to our career communities. So our coaches work by industry. And so if you're looking for one-on-one assistance, I would start with your career community page. So for instance, our computer science and cybersecurity folks, if you want to go check out the media communications and technology career community, you will see whichever community you choose on the right-hand side, the coaches that lead that community, and then you can schedule appointments with them. If you can't find contact information for anybody, please feel free to reach out directly to our office. And I'll leave our email here as well, and we can point you in the right direction. Any other questions in the room? Okay. Please do complete the survey before you go today. It's very short, but this is how we make sure that our programming is working for you. And is there anything else from any of our presenters? Parting thoughts? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to our faculty today
Thank you.
for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for partnering with us. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Students attending.